Good afternoon. Welcome to the CONMEBOL Copa América US 2024 press conference. We are with the coach Jesse Marsch and the player Cyle Larin. Before we start, please note that it's not allowed to broadcast or record with cell phones or any devices. Remember, you can download the press conference in the QR code. If you have a question, please raise your hand and wait for the microphone to be handed to you. Prior to the question, introduce yourself with your name and media.
I'll go first. Good afternoon, Antonin Besner from RDS. You guys said in the past couple of days that this is a different team that the one that faced Argentina 2.5 weeks ago. In what ways is it a different team, and what do you still need to improve upon from that first match?
Yeah, I don't know that it's a different team as much as we've just developed more. And if you just look at the amount of days that we've spent together, right? It's almost like the time when we played Argentina and then the 18 days we've had since, that's doubled the amount of time we've spent together. So we've invested in that time in making sure that we've tactically been clear, that the relationships on the pitch are clear, and the understanding of how to handle all moments is better. So again, I don't think it's a completely different team as much as I just think we've developed and we feel more confident in the roles and tactically how we're playing.
Over here, Coach and Kyle, and you can both answer this. Do you think it's a significant advantage that you did face them in that game in Atlanta, so the players are used to the environment and the opposition? Or could it work the opposite way, that they've seen you now as well and you can't perhaps catch them off guard the way you would if it was a first-time meeting?
Yeah, no, I think they haven't seen our best yet. And obviously that was our first game in the tournament. And like we said, we're the same team as the first game, and we just developed mentally, physically, and grown over those days. And they know what we have. We have a lot of speed and power, but I think over those days we've been together, we've been growing, and we played them the first game, and we know what to expect and know the crowd, and so we're going to that game with obviously we have to play better and do better and less mistakes.
Yeah, for me, I would say when we played the first 3 matches, which were against 3 incredible opponents, and the preparation and how we showed the team what each match was going to be, and then the feeling that they had on the pitch. And so Argentina is the best team in the world, and you can show how aggressive they are, how sharp they are, how good Messi is. You can show a lot of the different qualities, but until you're in the middle of it, you don't, understanding exactly what that is not so easy. Yes, now, of course, I think that there were things that we did well against Argentina, and they're going to understand our strengths and our characteristics. And then they had a lot of things that they did well against us, and I'm sure that they will try to exploit those things again. But I think for us, compared to them, I think for us, knowing the quality and the level at which Argentina plays, it's more of an advantage that we were able to play against them than it was for them to play against us. That's how I would feel.
Matthew Schnee with TSN. Jesse, you've watched your players meet in a band, you've watched them grow, but how much of a stage like this tonight or tomorrow night is going to be prime for Alfonso? You have something on this team that, as hard as all the other pieces work, with a world-class player like that, he could have a moment that could be the difference. And does it feel that way with a moment like this? I point back to the semifinals in the Champions League and the moment he had against Real Madrid. And for Kyle, there are so many players in this team that have played. You've played in a Copa del Rey final. Alfonso's played in a Champions League final. There's so many players who played in big games. But how is tomorrow different?
You go first, Kyle.
Yeah, we're playing against the best team in the world and quality players that play in the best teams in the world. But I think we've grown over the few games we played: France, Netherlands, Argentina, and we know what to expect playing against those players. And Alfonso obviously played in really big games. I have too, and each game is an away game for us, from Chile game, Peru, and Venezuela, and we're getting used to it, and we embrace that. So I think tomorrow is going to be an experience for everybody, but we're ready for it.
Yeah, and I appreciate your question, Matt. I truly, inside the team, I don't feel like we're overly indexing what this game is. I think that we're really just trying to prepare ourselves for another match in this tournament, and we're aware by when we show up for media that there's more people and that there's more attention to what's happening right now and where we are in the tournament. But I think we're really calm and we're really stable with what we think we want to achieve tomorrow. Now, for Alfonso and you mentioned Kyle, yeah, these guys have played on big stages and they understand what the biggest games are like. And I think the more that you have those experiences, the more you understand what to expect. But in general, as a Canadian national team, I think this has been a big development for us. And the fact that we've kind of stayed pretty calm and just kind of gone through it step by step says a lot about the character of the team and the focus on the process of us becoming the team we want to become. So we're still early in our process. What an incredible opportunity for us to continue to show further growth. And that's what you hear us both talking about, is not, winning titles. It's not playing, it's not about, how can we beat Argentina as much as how can we honor our development path and where we're trying to go and test ourselves at a very high level tomorrow evening.
Mr. Jesse. Yacine Quesada, Radio Colombia de Costa Rica, estamos en vivo. Me gustaría un criterio sobre el nivel de la CONCACAF en esta Copa América. Ustedes están en semifinal. Me gustaría saber qué criterio tiene sobre las selecciones de CONCACAF, como por ejemplo Panamá, que pasó a la siguiente ronda, y Costa Rica. ¿Cuál es el criterio y cómo mira a estas selecciones en este nivel competitivo y cómo ve la eliminatoria de CONCACAF, donde, bueno, ustedes están clasificados por ser también locales en la Copa del Mundo? Gracias.
I think we've been really impressed with the South American teams. And when we started our camp together a week before we played Argentina last time, we talked about what those games would be like. And I think the maturity level, the intelligence, the fight, the athleticism, the tactical and technical quality on the pitch, all those things have really tested our ability to play the game at the way we want to. But I really am proud of our team for responding the way that we have, for being up for the challenge, for learning from all of these experienced players and teams that we've played against. There's no doubt that given where we started 5 weeks ago to where we are now, we're a much better team, and our experiences have built us to be something very different and better based on playing these players and these teams. So I'm thankful that we can have 2 more matches in this process, and obviously the match tomorrow against Argentina, because it's a continued chance for us to prove to ourselves more than anyone else, to prove to ourselves that we can be really good.
Hi, Marco Lopez, Radio Di Blue, Diario El Universo. One question for the coach. First of all, congratulations for everything you have made. You have made history real for Canada. First time, and you go to semifinals. It's not going to be a special one-to-one marking for Lionel Messi. Last match against my country, Ecuador, he wasn't in the best way physically, but now Argentina are hoping that he's on the best way. And for Cyle, one of our citizenship fellow, Octavio Zambrano, was the former coach of Canada. How important do you think he was for today's history you have been making along with Coach Marsch? Thank you.
You go first. He was asking about Octavio Zambrano and what he's done to help build the Canadian national team.
Oh, okay.
You go first.
I don't know the question. Say the question.
He wants to know, what did Octavio, because he's from Octavio from Ecuador? No.
Yes, Octavio is Ecuadorian.
Okay.
It's the only Ecuadorian that has been directing another national team.
Did you play for Octavio?
Besides Ecuador, the only one in history. So he was the coach of Canada. You had in the Copa Oro 2017. So how important he was for today's history? You have been making history with Coach Marsch as well.
Yeah, I was there when Octavio was in the national team as a coach, and it was a different style of playing, and it wasn't something new for all the players back then. But now you have Jesse, and then obviously he's brought a lot of good things to the national team, and all the guys believe in Jesse and the way we're playing, and you just see it by the games how we're playing and the intensity we're playing at, the progressions we made throughout the tournament, and I think we can keep going and be even stronger these next games.
Give me my question again. What did you want from me? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Messi. Okay. I got you. Yeah. Look, we didn't do well enough with Messi last match. Right. And he was able to run free at our goalkeeper too much. We won't man mark him. Okay. We will certainly, he's an emphasis of how we will defend, and our ability to keep track of him will be really important. We have certain things that we'll try to do to try to make it difficult for him, but we know that limiting his space is the number one thing. We don't want him free and running at our back line and running at our goalkeeper like last game. That was not good enough. But we all know he's the greatest player to ever play the game. And the respect that we have for him, I think worldwide respect for who he is, and certainly the stadium will reflect that tomorrow. But it's always, I think, a privilege to play against a player like him. And our players will be up for it. They'll be excited, and the challenge is big. So we'll see if we can do a little bit better than we did in the first match.
Buenas tardes para todos. Aquí, Santiago Cantenis de Radio La Red de Argentina. Para el entrenador, pensando en la fase ofensiva de su equipo, ¿cómo considera que puede dañar a Argentina? ¿Con tramos largos de posesión o con ataques más directos? Y para Larin, si considera que va a ser un partido que se va a definir sobre el final. Gracias.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into our match plan. But we will have to be very good. We will have to be very compact. We will have to make sure that we limit their space. With the ball, we will have to be confident. We will have to be dynamic and use our speed and power. And, I'll answer Kyle's question for you right away, too. We hope that at the end of the match, it will be close, right? And that we can give ourselves a chance to compete to go to the final. That will be our goal.
Right here, Andrew Jones of Believe Network. Jesse, want to ask you, you're back in New Jersey, a place where it had been wonderful for your coaching career. Talk about the emotions with that and where you feel that you're better from 5 weeks ago as a team. And for you, Kyle, you were able to go back to Orlando and get that result against Chile and that whole grind. You talk about the emotions of going back to Orlando and what is the best attribute or one of the best attributes that you enjoy with Jesse being on managing you all. Thanks.
Yeah, it was exciting to go back to Orlando and play that game. And even though I wanted to score in that game, but I didn't. But I was more happy we got the win and qualified to the next round. And to be honest, that was more important to me. And then obviously I know a lot of people there, and I got to see a lot of people, a lot of friends. But no, it's been exciting, the journey the team's made, and I hope we can keep going.
Yeah, for me, I was at the 1994 semifinal, Bulgaria against Italy, at the old stadium here in the Meadowlands. So, and I was talking to Kyle, I date myself when I tell him stories like that. He wasn't even born yet, right? When were you born?
95.
95, a year later. Okay. But this was a dream of mine, just to go to the semifinal of the World Cup. Now to coach in the Copa America final here in New York, in a place where I went, New Jersey, where I went to university, where I coached the New York Red Bulls, where a lot of my mentors and people that have had a big effect on me personally and professionally, to see them this week, to know that they're going to be at the match, to be here at this historic site, even in a new stadium. It's a very historic venue, is special. And my mind is wrapped totally around giving our team a chance to not just have a special experience, but a real special victory. And so that's been our focus for this week.
Doug McIntyre, Fox Sports. Jesse, good to see
up?
you. Just to follow up on where you went with that last answer there a little bit. For you personally, I mean, you've talked a lot about your disappointment with the way you left Leeds. I'm sure you're disappointed not to get the U.S. job. How much are you enjoying this ride, these last 6 games, this tournament? And how much does the success you've had here prove to yourself and to everyone else your ability as a coach?
I never doubted my ability as a coach. What I've always doubted in this business is how do you find the right people to work with? And so the best thing about where I'm at right now is it feels home to me. It feels like I'm working with a group of players that I think value the things that I bring. I value the things that they're about. I think the Canadian Soccer Association is a humble but professional organization, and the new leadership is fantastic. The people in the country have been 100% behind me and us and what we're doing with this team. And you could take out the victories and the successes that we've had at this tournament. From day one, I felt that. I felt it's the reason I came, is because I felt how strongly they wanted me here. And I'm at a point in my life where I don't need all the other bullshit. You can I don't know how you say that in Spanish, okay? But I want to do things I want to do. I want to get back to loving the game that I love. And this team has helped me find that. And I'm very thankful for that.
Oliver Platt, One Soccer. Kyle, I think some people on the outside find it difficult to believe how calm and unfazed a lot of the players on this team seem to be on a stage like this and a match like this tomorrow. What would you just say about the personalities in this group and that allows you to stay so level?
Yeah, I think the players we've been together for a long time and know each other, and we get excited to play in games like these. And even the past games we've played, just knowing we're in these games we've always wanted to play in and against top level competition and playing against some of the best players in the world. So, no, we're a very calm group, and we know what our abilities are and our strengths, and we play to that, and it's been helping us go through this tournament and be successful.
Joshua Cloak, The Athletic. Jesse, you talked earlier about kind of teaching this team how to handle moments. The word that we keep hearing about this team, how they feel, is fearless. I guess I'm curious, how do you instill that sense of fearlessness in your players? Like, what are the steps you take? How do you do that?
Well, everyone, I think, in sports and certainly in football talks about being fearless. But for me, fearlessness comes from the clarity of understanding roles and knowing that within the roles, if you make mistakes, that people are going to be able to help support you in those moments, tactically, mentally, psychologically, in every way. And the more that you create a foundation, tactically, mentally, that is clear to the players and where they know how they can commit to it all the way and how they can support each other in the process, that's how you create fearlessness, right? So it's not just the leadership that I tried to exemplify to those guys and the conversations and the relationships that I have. It's not just the tactical model and the details involved in that and them understanding how they fit with each other in every moment of the game. It's not just, what we ask from our leaders, what we ask from our captain. It's not what we're trying to provide in terms of what the work week is like, the work day is like. It's all of it. And the more that you can create an environment where they understand what we're trying to achieve, where it makes sense to them and they know how to commit to it fully, the more engaged they are and the more they value it, the more they own it, and the more they become fearless because they trust what's being built. And so that's what I tried to do. And I think with them, and Kyle's been a really important figure in terms of what we have established and what I've tried to help establish with them, then it actually kind of grows on itself. And I think that's how we felt. And that's been a reason why we've been able to progress.
Sí, buenas tardes para el entrenador.
Sí.
Federico Águila de La Nación de Argentina. En el primer partido usted se quejó de Scaloni por haber salido tarde en el segundo tiempo, nos reclamó que lo escribimos y obviamente después la Conmebol lo sancionó. Pero quiero hacer dos preguntas. Una, ¿cómo trabajó en la mentalidad del equipo que lo tuvo muy poco tiempo, durante 2 meses previo lo habían nombrado en la selección de Canadá? ¿Cómo fue ese trabajo en la mentalidad de los jugadores para meterse entre los 4 mejores con 3 potencias de Sudamérica? Eso por un lado. Y después, si vio el partido obviamente con Ecuador, si eso lo ilusiona para llegar a los penales por lo menos. Gracias.
I was waiting for that pregunta. I said this. I was almost jokingly. I didn't really expect Argentina to be sanctioned for being late at halftime. And look, I didn't. One thing I didn't want is for the manager to be suspended. Like, I don't want managers to not have the opportunity to coach their team. But I do respect that CONMEBOL took a stance on it, right? And you know, we know that when we're here as Canada and then Argentina's here at Argentina, that those are two different levels of what the tournament means. And obviously Argentina is like an incredible road show with Messi. But I hope that people, I said this before, it was sort of facetious, but I was impressed that CONMEBOL took steps. The Ecuador match was a very difficult one physically for both teams, and the pitch was terrible. Right. So I haven't been to the pitch out here yet and seen exactly what that looks like, but we expect that it'll be better. Frankly, if you're going to play Argentina, it's better to play on a bad pitch because then their talented players don't have as much fun and quality on the ball, and it becomes a little bit sloppier of a match, and maybe you have a chance if you're not as talented as what Argentina is. But I know that also, when you play good teams, the closer they get to the final, the closer they get to trophies, the more they really put their foot on the gas and the more that they show how good they are. So for us, with all the respect we have for Argentina and their manager and Messi, we expect them to have their best match of the tournament tomorrow. And we are preparing that way, and we are excited about the challenge, but we know that it will be very difficult.
Okay, I have a question for both. For coach, realistically, Argentina is the big favorite for tomorrow, but you have to dream. How to dream with a victory? Can be in the 90 minutes, can be on penalty shots. And what is the biggest difference between this team and the team that was in the World Cup? And for the player, how you prepare yourself to play against one of the best teams in the world? Mentally, physically, how you dream with this game?
Yeah, I mean, we are playing against the best team in the world, but I think you prepare as you always do for each game. And I think you just have to be 100% focused on each moment of the game, because you're playing against the top players and they don't take a second off. And yeah, I know that when I play in the La Liga and you play against Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and these players don't take plays off. So it's important to be mentally ready and for every moment of the game.
I really don't think we've even thought about dreaming about big moments. We're really just focused on exactly what Argentina is, tactically thinking about how we want to manage the game, trying to limit their best players from finding too much space and time on the ball, finding a way to tilt the game in our favor of being good in transition at moments, and then, you know, finding ways to still with the ball command the game. We don't want to just play for penalties. We're going to go out and play the way we like to play. We're going to use it as an opportunity to be at our best. And that in the end is really the focus. And what an incredible opportunity to do so.
Good afternoon. My name is Will from La Teja, Costa Rica. For Kyle, do you guys feel a additional burden for being the only CONCACAF team at the tournament right now? And Coach, we're 2 years out of the World Cup. What do you think our CONCACAF teams will need to achieve the higher stage where you guys are now, but in the World Cup?
Yeah, I think we're representing CONCACAF well, and we've always done well, and we believe in each other. The team believes in Jesse, and we're just going to keep going and keep working and progressing as we've done the last few games. But I think over time we've been getting better and better, and we've proven that each game we played.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Look, I've been so focused. I've only been in the job 2 months, you know, and so I've been so focused on so many little things with our group that I've just tried to maximize the potential of what we're doing. And when I looked at our group from the beginning, I could see that we had a dynamic team, an athletic team, a fast team, also a team that was intelligent with quality players. And I just wanted to try to make sure that when we played, we looked like a very dynamic team. Like we looked like a fast and fit and strong team. And that we've accomplished, right? And it's helped us be successful. But we have a long way to go to be the team that I think we should be and will become. But we're obviously having a good start.
Aquí, para el mister Hernán Claus del diario Le.
¿Sí?
Consultarlo si, más allá de que recién aclaró que fue casi una broma aquello del pedido de sanción, si cree que eso puede llegar a ser un combustible para la selección argentina, pensando en este partido, algo espiritual, que tenga como una sed de revancha por aquello. Y lo otro es, ¿cuál cree que son las debilidades de la selección argentina?
It's possible that Argentina could use that as motivation. I don't think they need a ton of motivation. I think they're world-class players. I think they trust themselves. They know how good they are. Their focus isn't, you can see it the way they play every match. Their focus is entirely on winning the title, right? And doing whatever it takes step by step and match by match to be their best. So I don't think they need extra motivation about me saying they came out late at halftime. And weaknesses, none.
Good afternoon to both Eduardo Vizcayart from ESPN. Kyle, you have accomplished something in making the debut in this cup for Canada football. And how have you felt that the whole country or the football nation is appreciating what you guys are doing, what you guys have accomplished here? And for the coach, you're still building your team. You're in a process of evolving. And how much has changed since the first game because of the dynamic you're at right now from the point when you met Argentina in the first game of this cup and up to this point? Thank you.
You go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of support from the Canadian fans and the Canadian Federation, and we've been growing. And from the first game when Jesse came, we've obviously we lost that game, but we had great moments in that game, and into the next game of France, we've grown over time. And the more we play, the more we believe in the system, the way we're playing, and we have the whole country behind us, and it's just going to keep getting better.
Yeah, I think that we would say that, like he said, even the first game we lost 4-0 to the Dutch. I think we had really good stretches in that match and a good performance at many moments. And each time that we've responded in a positive way, it's not like I've said to the group, "Okay, that was good. We need to continue that way." I can see that they need more demands and to create higher standards and to keep pushing what we're trying to achieve and never really be satisfied, but still enjoy the process, right? That's the key, is how do you create a process where you're not satisfied, but you're challenged and excited about the opportunity to get better. That's what we've done. And it's helped us get to a pretty cool moment here in a big tournament.
Hello everyone, Cristian Santos from Ecuador. Taking as a basis of the 4 matches of Argentina national team in this cup, what's your analysis about the style, about the playing style of Argentina, and if you consider that they have more weaknesses than the Argentina World Cup in Qatar?
It's hard for me. I wasn't on the inside of what happened at the World Cup. I watched more as a fan, and I was rooting Messi to win the World Cup like everyone else in the world. But I tell you this, I love the way they play. They're aggressive. They go after teams. They make you uncomfortable. They challenge you physically. They compete for every pass on the pitch. They're great at counter-pressing. They're incredible at set pieces. They have, right now, I think, the best goalkeeper in the world. They defend well. They're good on the ball. They have clever players. They're dynamic. They're good 1v1. Great finishers, winners, champions. I love their team. And I'm really excited again to have the opportunity for us to be challenged in such a massive way against such a great team.
Last one.
Ahora, Jesse, Kyle, Bastián Guiñez Escobar de Independencia Hispana de Selección.
Sí.
Se ha alabado mucho el juego de Canadá tanto por su poderío físico y por su orden táctico, pero quería preguntarles tanto al entrenador como al jugador si es una cosa que han conversado en el camarín y también dentro del cuerpo técnico, si están preparados para las otras situaciones que tiene el juego, situaciones que tienen que ver más con la astucia, con la viveza de manejar situaciones que se estén dando en el partido, sabiendo que Argentina, por historia y por actualidad, es una selección que tiene mucho más experiencia en este tipo de instancias que lo que puede ser Canadá.
You go ahead, Kyle, and then you'll answer it well, and then we can be done.
Yeah, I think we've grown over time, and over these last few games, we're able to handle those situations, and we know the quality Argentina has and how clever they are in these games. But we can be clever too. We can use our strengths and go into those games and try to beat them that way. But no, I think over time we've been getting better. Just how clever we are and be able to manage those situations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to answer.